Hi everyone, welcome back to Hanson Never Done Farms on this beautiful January 11th, I believe. It's Monday morning. Jeff is off at work and I am out here in the boneyard. I thought I would help him out a little bit. The kidding stalls, we were going to put boards up, and we just so happen to enclose each stall. We just so happen to have a lot of that barn wood left over, and I thought maybe I'll come out here and I'll start ripping some boards and at least get them ready. There's a few things I know he wanted to do that he needs to do, and I don't know exactly how he wants to do it, and I don't want to mess up his 2x4s that he just ripped the other day, so I'm going to do what I know to do, and that's just start cutting some 8-foot sections. So hey, it's me working today. That hardly ever happens. Jeff is, and you can ask our daughter, she knows her dad very well. When he is building or doing something, he does it. We are there to hand him screws and get the tools that he needs. So I'm going to take an opportunity to actually show you guys I do know how to do things. I really do. Anyways, stay tuned. Okay, so what I did was I got enough boards. I got all the taller, over 7 feet, 8 feet boards out of the boneyard. This is the barnwood that Jeff brought home quite a while ago, and this is what's left from what we used for the boys' pen, so their little house. So anyways, I found 4 that are suitable. The length is suitable, and I'm going to go ahead and rip those, cut those down to 8 feet. There's other things that we can use, but I'm not for sure what exactly he wants to use, and I'm not going to cut into any of the other wood just in case it's something that he's saving or wants to use in a different way. I am taking a huge risk today, guys. It's a huge risk. I'm using Jeff's tools. It's kind of like, you know, with Jeff, it's kind of like a girl, you know, a woman in the kitchen. Don't use my stuff. Well, Jeff's that way too sometimes, but we're going to give it a go. I think he'd be okay with it. Again, I'm cutting these down to 8 feet. That's the length of the pens, and just these boards that I have should do 2 pins. So anyways, just one thing he won't have to worry about, hopefully. And these are really old boards, and so I want to make sure that I'm getting the best end. That end looks to be, actually, I can probably just trim off part of this end. That end looks to be better. I'm also waiting for the electrician to show up today. Jeff said, I messaged him and said, hey, I got stuff I want to do out at the goat barn. Do I have to stay in the house and wait for the electrician? He said, no, put a note on the bay door and do what you need to do. So he doesn't know I'm doing this though. Now this board was a little jacked up, but 8 foot. Okay, let me show you guys what I'm doing here, what I'm looking at. These are the good 8-foot sections that I could find. Let me show you what we're working with. The boneyard. This is where all of his scrap material is. And our next project. But I don't have very many 8-foot sections in here. There's a few, but they're split down the middle, so I can't use them. I know I've got plenty of really nice 4-foot sections, so I know what I would do. You know, use 2x4. I'll take you up and show you. I know how I would do it, but again, I don't want to cut into any wood that he hasn't showed me is specifically used for that, because I don't want to mess anything up, and wood is expensive and I won't waste it, so I want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. This I knew wasn't a big deal because that's just scrap lumber. I'll take you up and show you guys what I'm looking at. Okay, to kind of give you guys an idea, we're going to need something here to fill this gap and to give the board something to attach to. I'm sure he's going to use a 2x4, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to cut into any of his 2x4s over there unless he tells me specifically that that's what they're used for. But the barn wood that I did is just going to go as slats across here, and then he's got 4x6s that he's going to put on the bottom. But that's kind of my that kind of is my plan today. I just thought if I could get some of the boards cut, it just is one less thing that he has to do. You know, not a big deal. I know it's not a big deal to me. It is, because almost 35 years of marriage, this isn't something that Jeff would just say, hey, go cut those boards. I have to sometimes just go do it. But my girls, My beautiful, beautiful girls. Hi, Lovey. Hi, Kalani. It said it was 34 degrees out, but I ain't kidding you guys. I'm sure the real feel is like 50. It's warm out here. It actually feels really, really good. Getting used to these temperatures this morning. This morning it was 17 degrees out. So I'm thinking, it's cold. I bought myself, Jeff and I both bought thermal coveralls. So I'm like whipping out the thermal coveralls. It's cold. Hi guys, by the time I was done I was sweating. It might have been 17 degrees out, but the real feel was like 28. And so it was just too warm for thermals. But, you know, 34 degrees, I'm standing in the shade, no jacket, and it feels good out here. It feels really good. But I'm going to get these girls some more hay. I didn't get that done this morning because it was too warm. I ripped some 8-foot boards, and I ripped several 4-foot boards because I'm not really sure exactly. We didn't have enough 8-footers, so anyways, I got a hold of Jeff. He agreed, don't mess with his 2x4s. He said he's going to do it exactly like the buck pen, the framework, so I'm going to let him show me at least what he wants to do, and he said there's not enough screws anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to complete it. But anyways, I did get to take one thing off of his list of to-dos and got all the boards ripped, and now we can make the individual pins, and then he just has to make the doors. Easy peasy. Easy, easy, guys. These girls think I'm going to feed them, which I'm not, because it's not dinner time yet. But anytime I'm in the feed room, they automatically think that it's time to be fed. Except Elsa. Elsa knows the game. She knows not to bother. She's having a good dream. Aren't you, Elsa? She says, I'm wiped out. It's hard work growing babies. Hi, my love. How are you? She's like, siesta. We do have a vet coming out on Friday. The girls need to be disease tested. We test for CAE, CL, and Johne's disease. That is a yearly test that we typically do. In the past, you guys, I've always drawn blood. Jeff and I never really had a problem doing it, but this year I have attempted to do it twice, and twice have failed. And I'm just not going to keep poking these girls. I called a local vet, and for a relatively inexpensive fee, he's going to come out. He's going to test. We're going to test the 4 that have only come onto our farm in the last year. So it's Bijou, it's Snow, it is Brina, and Elsa. Those 3 I do not have a record of clean testing, and we're also going to test Cash. It is important, even though I know my goats are disease-free, I'm confident of that. I buy from reputable breeders who do clean test their herds. It is for the people that buy from us. That is assurance to them that we have taken that extra step and expense to clean test our herd. So I have already tested Aspen and Kalani were tested probably 3 years ago, and so I'm not worried about them. Most breeders don't test their whole herd. They pick 3 or 4 every year and test that way. And so this year I'm only testing the new ones, the newest to us that we have not tested, and that way if you're buying a baby goat from us, you can be assured that we are a disease-free herd, because that is important. I've seen a lot of people who buy goats from sales barns and stuff and get home and, you know, they're sick, something comes up, and before they know it, they've lost their entire herd to a disease. So it is important to at least for us serious breeders to go through that extra expense. And it is an expense. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to be $140 for the vet to come out and draw blood, even though I have my own vials and needles, and I'm going to be taking the blood myself to get tested. That's the cost to test. The 5 goats is going to cost me about $300, so it's not cheap, you guys. I see all the time people wanting, you know, cheap goats. Does anybody have cheap goats for sale? No, we don't. And this is why it's not inexpensive to have goats. They are an expense, but anyways, I think I'm going to close it out here. Just a quick little video for you guys, show you that I actually can do things. I know in the videos you see me just operating the camera or handing things to Jeff, but I do actually do things, you guys. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.